morning, Fraulein Weiss. I'm very grateful that you're here today to tell us more about the events and Hitler's plans that happened before the war.
Thank you for having me. I have to say, I was surprised when you called me. There's no respect for my job nowadays, but I know better. You would be surprised to know how much information you pick up as a dog groomer. I remember that day very well, when I groomed Hitler's beautiful dog Blondie. Beautiful fur he had. I wish I got more customers like that. Either way, Hitler was quite a proud man. He told his plans to whomever was listening. He had great ambitions, great plans. He wanted to reunite all German speakers. He had a very strong feeling of nationalism. You had to be careful about mentioning the Treaty of Versailles, however. He could get incredibly angry about that. Not surprising, actually, because that was the reason he had to unite German speakers in the first place. All that land that got lost in the Treaty of Versailles. Hitler was planning on expanding the German territory greatly. Lebensraum, he kept saying. Living space. It was his foreign policy. He had great plans. He was going to destroy the Treaty of Versailles, unite all German speakers, and increase the German territory. Only weeks after I groomed that beautiful dog, Blondie, not Hitler, I heard news of Hitler's first violation of the Treaty of Versailles. My neighbor, who had been unemployed for years and was struggling to sustain his family, suddenly found a job in the army. And he wasn't the only one. Unemployment decreased significantly as Hitler rebuilt the army to be strong again. It was done in secret at first. After all, Hitler was defying the Treaty of Versailles. If I remember it correctly, it was the fall of 1933, when Germany withdrew from the League of Nations, because others would not disarm. It seemed like a smart move at the time. Who would have known it would get so out of hand? Then came the Tsar plebiscite. This I heard of about 2 years later, when Hitler came in with the dog again. He was so proud of his achievement. And to be fair, it was quite the PR success for him. He was able to reunite German peoples without violating the Treaty of Versailles. Tsar had been separated from Germany after the First World War and was governed by the League of Nations. Now, with a 90% vote, it returned to Germany. About a year later, in March of 1936, the remilitarization of the Rhineland happened. Personally, I think this was one of the key points it led to. If Britain and France had done something at this point in time, they would have been easily able to stop Hitler. After the Treaty of Versailles and the Locarno Treaties of 1925, the Rhineland had been demilitarized. Hitler remilitarized the Rhineland after France and the USSR had signed a pact of protection from Germany. I think he did this in order to test Great Britain and France. Although I assume he already expected the outcome, France and Britain did nothing. If they had, it would have been a huge turning point in events. The war may have never happened. This is around the time I decided to completely turn my life around. I decided to make a drastic decision and become a cat groomer. After that, I never saw Hitler or Blondie, that beautiful dog, ever again.
Thank you for your time and your beautiful story.
It was an opportunity for us to come back right-wing Europe, and in this sense, it did heighten tension across the continent. The Germans and Italians used it as an opportunity to test out their plans and bombs, comrades. Many were lost, and in the end, it was all for nothing as Franco won. We really nalomat hope.
Por la patria! Por la patria!
Oh yes, that brings back good memories, yeah? At the time, Schuschnigg was the Chancellor of Austria, and truly, he wasn't a very strong-willed man.
I think in his heart, Schuschnigg knew that what Herr Hitler wanted, he would get. And Hitler wanted Austria.
So in 1938, a plebiscite was called for to determine whether Austria should rejoin the fatherland, Germany. And naturally, I and my men, we marched into Austria to ensure that the plebiscite was conducted correctly. Democracy can be a pain. Clearly it was conducted correctly, as 99.75% of the populace voted to rejoin Germany. Success!
Naturally, Herr Hitler was ecstatic. And perhaps above all, us Germans felt proud, because reuniting with Austria was another act the Treaty of Versailles prohibited, but we did it anyways.
Never a better time to be German. The Arianaise had so long been trampled on because of 1918 and the November criminals, and now the British and French, intimidated by our superiority, seemingly were bending to our every demand.
He was beginning to feel that he could not put a foot wrong, but his growing confidence was putting the peace of Europe in increasing danger. Hitler, do you have any designs on Czechoslovakia?
I swear, on my honor, the Reich has no designs on Czechoslovakia.
Great, thanks.
Despite what I said to Chamberlain, I do have designs on Czechoslovakia.
This new state, created by the Treaty of Versailles, included a large number of Germans, former subjects of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire, in the Sudetenland area.
Understood, Führer.
All through the summer, the tensions rose in Europe. In a last-ditch effort to avert war, Chamberlain flew to meet Hitler on September 15, 1938. Fortunately, the meeting went well. Hitler moderated his demands, saying he was only interested in parts of the Sudetenland, and only if a plebiscite showed that Sudeten Germans wanted to join Germany. Chamberlain thought of this as reasonable.
I forget the previously arranged terms as they were not enough. I want all of the Sudetenland. Berlin, listen up! The Sudetenland is the last problem that must be solved, and it will be solved. It is the last territorial claim which I have to make in Europe. They are grounded on the determination to save the German people alone. 10 million Germans find themselves beyond the frontiers of the Reich. Germans who wish to return to the Reich as their homeland.
Germany. France, Italy, and I have decided on the fate of Czechoslovakia. We have decided to give you what you want. As of September 29th, Czechoslovakia was to lose the Sudetenland under the Munich Agreement. I hope that this brings peace for our time. Although the British people welcomed the Munich Agreement, they did not trust Hitler in an opinion poll in October 1938. 93% said they did not believe him when he said he had no more territorial ambitions in Europe. In March 1939, they were proved right, as on March 15, with Czechoslovakia in chaos, German troops took over the rest of the country. Luckily for Hitler, there was no resistance from the Czechs. As Hitler was gradually retaking lands lost at Versailles, logically his next target was to get the strip of former German land called Poland, known as the Polish Corridor. Negotiations continued between Britain, France, and the USSR throughout the summer of 1939. Stalin also received visits from the Nazi foreign minister. They discussed a rather different deal, a Nazi-Soviet pact. Hello, my name is Doris Goodwin, and I am a World War II expert. I would like to explain to the audience today more about the Nazi-Soviet pact, as I find it to be one of the most intriguing topics in history and one of the most shocking turn of events ever. If some of you are unaware, the pact, as the name says, was between Germany and Russia. While this news came to shock everyone as Germany signed a non-aggression pact, the people would have been even more shocked had they known at that time that the two countries had made several secret protocols. It amounted to an agreement to invade and divide the countries of Eastern Europe between them, including Finland, Latvia, and Estonia, including many more. The problem with this pact, however, was that it ended Britain's hope of alliances with Russia to stop Hitler. Britain realized that nothing would stop Hitler now but war. Other colleagues of mine say that it improved morale of the British people for war and showed how Hitler was an opportunist and a cheater who could never be trusted. Thank you for listening.
Herr Hitler got off the phone with British Prime Minister Neville. He was so ecstatic. Once again, they bowed to German might, he said. The Sudetenland is ours, and soon, all of Europe will be ours too. I think it was this policy of appeasement that truly encouraged Hitler to pursue his goals and eventually begin World War II.
fellow comrades. It is with great humility and pleasure that it is my duty to inform that recently we have signed pacts with Nazis to ensure Russian security and safety of your children, wives, mother, daughter, father, husbands, for foreseeable future. The signing of this pact means that any fears that people may have had of a conflict in Russia as a result of tension in Europa are quelled. In accordance with this, the state and all true Russians would like to support that every other Russian does their utmost to ensure that the security that has been ensured by this pact does not go for nothing, and that we perform our duties to most high standard and diligently to ensure Russian prosperity in future along with the safety which has just been ensured. So please, if you find a kulak, report. Thank you. Boloshkivets.
Yeah. El boy. Official remix. This is the remix.
That's karma.
Okay. Determined whether Austria should rejoin the fatherland, Germany. And naturally, I and my men, we marched into Austria to ensure that the plebiscite was conducted correctly. You know, democracy can be a pain. Clearly it was conducted correctly, as 99.75% of the populace voted to rejoin Germany. Success! There was never a better time to be German. The Aryan race had so long been trampled on thanks to 1918 and the November criminals, and now the British and the French, intimidated by our superiority, I am going to send you to Auschwitz.
Leo, put it down! Leo! Put it down!
No,
Jesus Christ, poor dog!
just film.
Film it really.
It was never a better time to be German. The Aryan race has so long been trampled on because of and the November criminals, and now every British and Frenchman was intimidated by our superiority, and they were seemingly bending to our every demand. I pick up my dog all the time.
Yeah, but it's not your dog.
Yeah, but that dog loves me.
I'm
gonna give it cyanide and shoot myself in the head. That's how much we love each other.
Oh my god, no. You're not shooting my dog in the head.
Michael,
No,
let's
shoot
take a
myself in the
selfie.
head.
Eee,
Dude, you're filming.
I know.
I think in his heart, Schuschnigg knew what Herr Hitler wanted, he would get. And Hitler wanted Austria.
Dum dum dum!
I think in his heart, Schuschnigg.
Sorry.
Okay.
I want my dog.
I remember one evening, Herr Hitler got off the phone with British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain. He was so excited. Once again, they bow to German might, he said. The Sudetenland is ours, and soon the rest of Europe. What are you doing?
I do this every time.
Shut up. That's the one who wasn't writing his script until an hour later.
Y'all weren't filming till 2 hours later.
Shut up. Okay, sorry. Go. All through the summer, the tensions rose in. All through the summer, the tensions rose in Europe. In a last-ditch effort to avert war, Chamberlain flew to meet Hitler on September 15, 1938. Fortunately, the meeting went well. Hitler moderated his demands, saying he was only interested in parts of. All through the summer, the tensions rose in Europe. In a last-ditch effort to avert